You probably think intelligence shows up in IQ scores, grades, or how fast someone can solve a puzzle. But psychologists say intelligence often reveals itself in much smaller ways, through the daily habits we ignore. Here's the twist. Some of the things people do every day, scrolling, avoiding silence, bragging about sleepless nights, aren't harmless. They're actually signals that your brain might be underperforming. In this video, we'll uncover 7 everyday habits that secretly lower your intelligence, and most importantly, how to break them so your brain gets sharper every single day. Let's start with a habit almost everyone has been guilty of. Habit 1. Chronic sleep neglect. We live in a culture that glorifies late nights, bragging about, "I only need 4 hours of sleep." But here's reality. One night of sleep deprivation reduces your focus, memory, and reaction speed to the level of someone legally drunk. Neuroscience shows that deep sleep is where your brain consolidates learning, clears toxins, and restores decision-making power. Skip it, and you're not tough. You're sabotaging the very system that makes you intelligent. Smart people don't treat sleep as optional. They protect it like treasure. Now, if you're running on little sleep, there's another bad habit that usually follows. Habit 2. Instant gratification. Why wait when you can scroll, snack, or swipe? Modern life trains our brains for constant dopamine hits. That little ding on your phone feels good, but it rewires your brain to avoid patience, discipline, and deep work. The famous marshmallow test proved this decades ago. Kids who resisted immediate rewards ended up performing better in school, relationships, and even finances later in life. Chasing instant gratification doesn't just waste time. It kills your brain's ability to tolerate effort. And without effort, intelligence can't grow. And effort matters most when things get uncomfortable. Habit 3. Avoiding silence or time alone. If you can't sit alone without background noise, that's a red flag. Constant stimulation, TV, music, endless scrolling, keeps your brain too distracted to think deeply. Psychologists call solitude fertile silence. Intelligent people use it to reflect, problem solve, and generate ideas. People with weaker mental processing often avoid it because it means facing their own thoughts. If 10 minutes of quiet feels unbearable, it's not boredom, it's avoidance. And avoidance is the enemy of intelligence. But it's not just about silence, it's also about how we talk to others and sometimes how much. Habit 4. Confidence without content. We've all seen it. Someone dominates the room, interrupting and explaining things they don't really understand. Psychologists call this the Dunning-Kruger effect. People who know the least often think they know the most. Real intelligence looks different. It admits, "I don't know," and asks better questions. Pretending to know everything may sound smart in the moment, but it actually signals shallow thinking. The loudest person isn't always the smartest. Often it's the opposite. And that shallow thinking often shows up in another habit. Habit 5. Magical thinking and conspiracies. It starts harmless. Lucky socks before exams. Avoiding cracks on the sidewalk. But this habit, called magical thinking, confuses coincidence with cause. At a deeper level, it's the same mental shortcut that fuels conspiracies. Flat Earth, microchip vaccines, Mercury ruined my week. These stories feel exciting because they're simple answers to complex problems. But smart minds demand evidence. Low intelligence accepts the first explanation that feels dramatic. Superstition and conspiracy thinking don't just make you look less intelligent, they keep you from solving real problems. Speaking of problems, here's one that silently rewires your brain every single day. Habit 6. Doomscrolling and endless consumption. It starts as just 5 minutes on TikTok, YouTube, or Netflix. Suddenly, hours vanish. Studies show doomscrolling fries your attention span and makes your brain crave quick dopamine bursts instead of meaningful effort. Smart people balance entertainment with growth. They use the internet as a tool, not a trap. Low intelligence sinks into endless consumption, mistaking distraction for living. And finally, the most dangerous habit isn't about scrolling or sleeping or even conspiracies. It's something much deeper. Habit 7. Rigid thinking. Rigid thinkers reject new methods, tools, or ideas. Not because they're wrong, but because they're different. Psychologists call this mental inflexibility. It's the inability to adapt when reality shifts. History punishes this habit. Intelligent people adjust, experiment, and evolve. Rigid thinkers stay stuck, and life punishes stuck. Here's the truth. Low intelligence isn't about being born less smart. It's about the invisible habits you repeat every day. Keep them, and your brain slowly rewires itself to stay stuck. Break them, and you'll see your thinking, confidence, and even your relationships shift almost instantly. Most people will nod at this and go back to the same habits. But if you're the type who wants to actually rewire your brain, start small, protect your sleep, tolerate silence, question your own certainty, delay gratification. Intelligence isn't fixed, it's trained, and every daily choice is either sharpening or dulling your mind. So, what's one habit from today's list that you've caught yourself doing? Comment below. And if you want more science-backed tools to rewire your brain and upgrade your life, subscribe. Because each week we break down the psychology of high performance in a way nobody else does.